Okay, so this is my React Firebase project. It is a journal entry. So actually, let me just look out quick. So obviously you have a sign up and a login. I've already made an account, so I'm going to log into that account. So here, obviously, journal entry. You can write your thoughts, whatever you want. So we're gonna write a bunch of random nonsense, and we're also just gonna choose a file so I can show you how that works. So here we've chosen our file. You don't have to choose a file, it's your choice. It's not necessary if you don't want one. Now you say add entry, boom, it's there. Now you can see I've got another entry here, and it just doesn't have a photo, but I can remove a word, for example, and click save. That is my edit function. There you see it saves, and I can also delete this. So I have uploaded a new journal entry. Obviously you can read it, you can view it, you can edit and delete it. I can delete this whole thing too if I wanted to, so that's how that works. Obviously this is a preview link to the photo you just chose. Now with this, and if we go look at our Firebase, you'll see that the authenticator, if it will load. Here we have our authentication. Here is the email. The password is somewhere inside this. This is the user ID. This is a test email I created earlier. Password again, stored somewhere here. Another user ID. Our Firestore database. Now, this will store all the data that is being pushed from the React app. You can see there's nothing here. So let's just go bunch of random nonsense again. Add entry. There it is. Let's go here, refresh the page. Now you'll see we have our users. So this is the user ID. Now you can match that to my user ID. Now we go back to Firestore database, we click on the user, and then it will give us entries. So we click on the entries, and here you can see our entry. It will also give a photo URL if you add one of those as well. Now in our code, let me just find it quickly. So how it's being pushed from the page itself to Firebase is via this function, the handle add. So this is sending data to Firestore. This function handles adding a new journal entry. It's just going to handle every submission. So now I know it doesn't look like it, but this does push everything through. This const handle add async. Again, image preview or none. Also, if you leave it with none, it just gives that. Then we're going to add the entry to Firestore. So once you're done with that entry, you've just added your text, your image URL or not. It gets sent through to Firestore, gets pushed by add.doc itself. And then obviously we have reset form. So this obviously just resets the form for you to add maybe another one. And it's set to null because it's empty. There's not going to be anything in there because it's empty for you to fill. So that is just the whole handle add function. This just sends all of the all of your like journal entry to Firestore itself to store. Now here we have our delete entry. This handles our delete function. And then obviously we have the update one, so this handles our edits to update it. So when you click save, this edits that and saves it. And then yeah. And now here we have our Firebase functions. In our authenticator, auth context.js, what this is basically doing is that you're creating a user. So it's going to create a context to hold the authentication state, which is basically an empty place for you to fill out your email and stuff. So it's going to export function use auth and return use context auth context is going to create a custom hook to easily access the auth context anywhere. And then it's going to have an auth provider, which the provider component to wrap your app and manage the auth state. Then the set current user is set to null. Use state is set to null because there is no current user that is for you to create. It's a state to hold the current user when there is a user there. Then obviously our use effect to const unsub. It's a Firebase listener for all state changes, so log in, log out, you know. And then obviously we have return unsub. That's just going to clean up the listener when component unmounts. And then we have our const log out. This is just a function to sign out the user. It's really nothing special. You see, I can log out, so that's all it does. And then we have a return. So this auth context provider is going to pass the current user and the logout function to any components that need it. So outside of this, basically all this does is that it's going to listen for auth changes like login, logout. The current user holds logged in user's info. Obviously, it's only going to bring in your info that you have. And then logout signs the user out. That's basically all it's doing. Now this gets used in our dashboard. I think it's at the bottom here. Yes, I know it's somewhere here, just give me a second. Okay, maybe not, but I know it's here somewhere, I just can't find it now. But basically, this auth context dot provider, the current user gets sent to dashboard. This is the other component. I will use that throughout anywhere. Also, the images are stored locally. So this entry card, this stores the images locally. That's all it really does. That's why this is there. It's just storing it locally instead of going straight to Firebase, hence the link.